Hi, welcome to District 79 Weekly Leadership Talk, where we host tall global leaders from all over the world to share their experience and thoughts with us. I'm Samer Kamal, District 79 Director, and I'm honored that this is an HPL project for Toastmaster Muhammad Faris. District 79 serves the central, eastern, and northern regions of Saudi Arabia, where Arabic language is the official language. Therefore, we'll provide the Arabic translation in the chat box. For your questions, please write them in the chat box, and our question and answer moderator, Toastmaster Fazmi and Toastmaster Salim Hakim, will handle it. Our speaker today have a message for the members of our district and our beloved guests. Not only a message, but also a secret method she created to get the maximum benefit of your meetings. I will not take much time of you. I will leave you with our speaker. Our speaker this evening, she is the first Vice President of Toastmasters International. She is from Delta, British Columbia, Canada. She is an entrepreneur and investor. She is the founder and co-founder of several companies. Toastmasters since 2003. Page is a member of 3 clubs. As an officer of the Toastmasters International Board of Directors, Page is a working ambassador for the organization. She works with the board to develop, support, and modify the policies and procedures that guide Toastmasters International in fulfilling its mission. Page says, Toastmasters transform people's lives as we hold each other to a higher standard and lift each other up. It has absolutely opened up doors of opportunity that I wouldn't have even imagined for myself. Let's all welcome distinguished Toastmaster, Margaret Page.
Thank you. Thank you. It is an absolute pleasure to be here with District 79. Thank you so much, District Director. Now, I don't know what each of you are doing today, but I can imagine that it is not what you predicted you would be doing at the beginning of this year. None of us are doing what we had anticipated to do in these times of unfamiliarity and uncertainty. Several months ago, the beginning of March, I headed off to the Toastmaster International Executive Committee meetings and board meetings in Denver, Colorado. Although coronavirus was a looming threat, it still seemed to be continents away. However, in the 8 days that I was there, the world changed. What began at the beginning of the week as merely social distancing and acknowledging each other with namaste ended up being the hotel closing around us, no food available. We had to order breakfast and then go down to the kitchen and receive it in tinfoil because they gave us no plates. On my ride home, the shuttle bus driver came to pick me up. He wiped my suitcase handles, he wiped the door of the car, and he wiped the steering wheel, and then his hands with disinfectant. At the airport, people looked at each other cautiously. On the airplane home, the woman across the aisle from me, she put a blanket on, she took the blanket off, put the blanket on, she took it off. I wondered, did she have the virus? Someone a few seats behind me began to cough and our antennas all went off. Do they have the virus? Will I get it? I'm sure all of you experience similar fears like that. When I arrived back home in Canada, I was asked at the custom office to make sure that I quarantined for 14 days, and I agreed to do so. 6 days into my quarantine, it was my birthday. Late in the afternoon, the doorbell rang and I thought, who could that be? I haven't ordered anything. Everyone knows I'm in isolation. I went to the door, and I have glass panels around my front door, and I put my face up to the glass panel. There on the other side of the panel stood my beautiful daughter and my 3 handsome grandsons, and they began to sing happy birthday. Then they pointed to a cake that was sitting on the table. At the end of the birthday song, I attempted to capture the eyes of my youngest grandson. He kept hiding behind my daughter, but finally he looked up, and what I could see was fear, pure fear. He had been pulled from his school, not allowed to play in the park, not allowed to play with friends, and now grandma was a danger. I'm sure each one of you in the last months have also experienced similar fears, worries, challenges. That began a whole roller coaster of emotion for me. I was up, I was down, I was up, I was down. But those negative emotions began to magnify as the days wore on. Finally, I had a Toastmaster meeting, and that night, as I sat in the meeting, I recalled about bringing it back to the very basics of who we are. The mission of the club is to provide a positive and supportive learning experience where members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. As I sat there in that meeting, amidst all that was going on outside and all the negative emotion, I realized how valuable the Toastmaster experience was. That here we were, no matter what our economic background, no matter what our religion, no matter where we came from, we were all there to support each other in our learning and growth. And that we were there to help lift each other up. Each of us told stories and shared our experience of where we were at. I think that's one of the beautiful things about being a speaker or having the opportunity to speak to audiences, is to look at your life and reflect on those magical moments or those moments of despair and be able to come to some learning and share that with others. At that meeting, I learned how much of a haven that Toastmasters was, how much of a safety net that Toastmasters was or is, not only for myself and my fellow club members, but also from people around the world as I began to get calls and notes and messages. There's a woman in Northern Canada, her name is Stephanie, and she shared that she's going to visit a club in every district around the world. And she measured that in terms of what her membership cost was going to be, 40 cents a meeting. I spoke to Pawas in India, who said typically they would have 15 to 20 members show up at the meeting, although the membership was 35 when they met in person. And now each and every meeting, there's 35 and more attend their club meetings. I spoke to Diane in California, who said, we start every meeting with a dance party and we have so much energy. Our bodies are oxygenated because of the dance and we share with each other. Just this last weekend, there were 30 districts participated in a 24-hour Toastmaster meeting. Around the world, people are experiencing the very best of Toastmasters. What we do is help each other grow and learn. And this is the first time in history that we were all under danger of the same thing. And yet, here we are with an opportunity to grow and learn together and to support others. And when you're helping others and when you're feeling gratitude for what you have, you can't experience fear and worry at the same time. We are on the precipice of a new world, a new portal of being. We may never be exactly as we were before, but we will be better in many, many ways. I look at my Toastmaster experience and I always want to maximize that opportunity. So a number of years ago, I created a model that I called the 3-2-1 model to maximize learning. And I'd love to share it with you today. I hope you have a pen and pencil ready to write it down. So first of all, after every Toastmaster meeting I attend, doesn't matter the country, doesn't matter where I'm traveling to, I do this. On my iPhone, on Notes, I have a file for learning. And after each meeting, I put down the 3 key learnings I got in that meeting. And sometimes it's learning something to a new level, to a deeper level. But I write down the 3 most important things. Number 2 in my 3-2-1 model of maximizing the learning in Toastmasters is I give 2 compliments to people that were in that meeting. I compliment them on something unique. It has to be unique. I can't compliment them on something they've already heard in an evaluation or anything, which helps me strive to listen more deeply, to observe more carefully, and to be much more aware. Over the last few years, it's also helped guide me on the attributes that I would like to take on and what I want to learn from others. And the final step in my 3-2-1 model of maximizing my member experience or my attendance at a meeting is to show appreciation to one person who made that meeting possible, who made it so that I had the opportunity to learn and grow. I hope you will accept my model of 3-2-1, and if you will adopt that model for your own, I'd love for you to put your name in the chat, and then if I could gather those names. So someday when I visit District 79, that I would like to call on you and ask you, what are the things you learned? What are the compliments you paid to others? And how were you expressing gratitude to others? It's a way of learning. It's a way of giving. It's a way of polishing. I'd like to close this portion of my discussion with you by sharing a profound moment with you when I was early on in my Toastmasters journey. When I was an area director, a district governor said this sentence to me, to all in the room, but it really spoke to my heart and I have held it close ever since. He said this. He said, "We owe it to those that came before us to leave the organization in better shape than we found it, so that those that come after us have a place to grow and learn." Thank you for being a Toastmaster. Thank you for being here today. And thank you for helping support your fellow members. Back to you, Mr. District Director.
Thank you, Toastmaster Margaret, for this wonderful message and the model. And I'm seeing the chat is like bombarding now with people are interested in accepting this model. I'm one of them. So I'm looking forward to see you in District 79 in the future years soon, and to share what I learned through this model. Open the session for the question and answers, and I will leave the lead for answer moderator, Toastmaster Salim Hakim, to take the opportunity. Toastmaster Salim, please.
Thank you so very much, District Director 79, DTM Samuel Kamal, and a warm welcome to our very special guest, DTM Margaret. With your permission, I will be your question and answer moderator. I suggest that I would read out the questions, then I will translate them into Arabic language. Then with your permission, I will have your answer, having it translated before I move to the second question. Would that be okay with you, ma'am?
Yes, yes, thank you. That would be lovely. So if I go too fast, you slow me down, please.
Perfect, thank you very much. So I'm already getting a number of questions. I'll start with the first question. Is actually two parts. Part number one, it says, do you see COVID-19 as a blessing in disguise to promote online meeting? Part number one. Part number two, what is Toastmaster views on online meeting after the pandemic? Translation. السؤال الأول مكون من فقرتين. الفقرة الأولى، هل ترى أن الوباء هو نوع من الرحمة لتوستماستر لدعم الاجتماعات عبر النت؟ وماذا سيكون مستقبل الاجتماعات أونلاين لدى التوستماستر بعد انتهاء الجائحة؟ Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Do I see COVID as a blessing in disguise? In many ways, there has been huge blessings from COVID in the fact that we've had accelerated learning, that we've all adapted so quickly to online meetings and also found ways to maximize this opportunity to showcase ourselves at our best and discover how to use this tool, which appears to be a little bit a cross between an in-person meeting and perhaps a television production. So thinking in terms of what can we take from TV and what can we take the best of our meetings. It's caused us to grow in very many ways, but also the connections around the world. What people are craving now is connection. And we have a way and an opportunity for people to connect not only with families, but far and beyond, connecting with people we never dreamed of before and learning from others around the world that we, although the opportunity was there 3 months ago, we didn't take advantage of it. Our lives were so full with other activities, and now we're taking this time to reach out, connect with others, and learn. But of course, COVID is a threat. And thus far, I'm not aware that we have lost any members. And of course, that's our greatest concern, because ultimately what matters most is our members. Our members matter most, and we want them to be safe and taken care of. The other question is what will happen online after COVID? And I predict, this is my own personal viewpoint, not the board's viewpoint, but my viewpoint coming from the aspect that I'm a coach and seeing at least what's happening in North America with my clients, is that people are going to be apprehensive about going back quickly. Those people that are very certainty driven, that need things to be very, very secure, it's going to take a while to get them back into the meeting. And those that crave that being closeness to others and are not maximizing that opportunity through the connection online, they will be more eager to meet in person. But make no mistake, there will always be a premium for people who can speak in front of a live audience. This is another attribute, another dimension of the Toastmaster program, but there will always be a higher level of cachet or a higher level given to those that can speak live in front of a live audience. I gave you a lot and I know you have to translate, so I'm sorry, I'll stop.
I hope I don't lose a single part because every single part meant a lot. الإجابة كانت على السؤالين على النحو التالي. السؤال الأول: الجائحة مهما كانت فهي وباء، ونحن نخشى ونهتم بصحة الأعضاء لأن الأعضاء هم أهم شيء لدينا، ولكن مثلها مثل أي حدث التغييرات تأتي نحو الأفضل. فمثلا التلفاز سيعرض عليك ما هو الجديد وما هو المفيد لك. في الماضي لم يكن لدينا الوقت للاستفادة من أوقاتنا، ولكن حاليا نحن أمام وقت شاسع لكي نستفيد منه، والاجتماعات بلا شك عبر النت هي مكان جدا ممتاز للاستغلال الصحيح لهذا الوقت. الشيء الثاني بالنسبة لرأيها الشخصي، وهي تؤيد وتكرر أن هذا رأيها الشخصي. ما إذا كان سيتم اعتماد الاجتماعات أونلاين عبر النت بعد انتهاء الجائحة، فهي ترى كرأيها الشخصي كونها مرشدة وكوتش في شمال أمريكا أنه سيظل الاجتماعات أونلاين متواجدة، وسيكون من الصعب جدا أخذ الأعضاء إلى ما كانوا عليه في الاجتماعات الفعلية. ولكن الشيء الوحيد الذي لن يتغير هو التحدي أمام الجمهور للحديث، وهذا سيظل موجودا. The following question, ma'am, is your secret recipe, the model of 3-2-1. Could you please shed more light on step number 2 and 3, examples or better scenarios for us to follow? The translation: بالنسبة للنموذج 3-2-1 الذي مشكورا قدمتيه، هل لك أن تشرحي لنا الخطوة الثانية والثالثة بمزيد من الأمثلة? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So 3 examples of something that I might have learned at a Toastmaster meeting. When I originally shared the story about my grandson, tears began to roll down my cheek. And a member sent me a message and they said, a longtime guru, Toastmaster, sent me a message and said, if you want to prevent yourself from crying, look up. And that will stop the crying. And so that was a good learning that I had in that particular meeting. So on my cell phone, in my notes, I put to prevent emotional tears, put look up. Also, at a meeting I was recently at, I recall that each person in the meeting, if they were sergeant at arms, if they were the Zoom master, if they were a speaker, in front of their name, they put the role that they have. At another meeting, I learned that above your head, you shouldn't have too much white space on a Zoom meeting. Each and every meeting, I am learning things like that, and I put it in. It could be as much as addressing the officials in the meeting, such as district director with their formal title. It could be anything that you learn in a meeting, such as a way to embrace vocal variety. Could be looking at the camera lens as opposed to looking at the screen below so people know you're making eye contact. All those learnings, capture it in after each and every meeting, and then before your next meeting, pull that out and just review the 3 key learnings. Of course, in meetings you learn much more than that, but choose the 3 key learnings. In my clubs now, at the end, we do breakout meetings at the end of the meeting, and we share those 3 learnings with each other, what we're walking away with from this meeting. Step number 2, shall I stop there and then I'll go to step 2?
It's okay. I'm taking notes, so you may continue. Thank you.
Okay. So step 2 would be about paying compliments to somebody in the meeting. So something I've noticed about them, how organized they are when they speak. When they speak, it might be something very unique as far as they're able to, the way their eyes shine, the way they come from their heart and their soul, something that's nobody else has identified in an evaluation, such as what a critical thinker they are. And they always focus on the individual rather than the logistical. It could be something as unique as they are the friendliest person in the room. I've noticed you are always the most welcoming to guests. And so I'll send an email after a meeting and acknowledge someone for something magical that they've done, something that impressed me, something that I want to embrace in my life. I learned this from a past international director. Her name was Marg Hope, and when I joined her club many, many years ago, after a meeting, I would get an email with something complimentary in there, and I thought, wow, that was so special. And it's been a driver for me. It's helped me grow, and it's helped me appreciate her, and it's helped me appreciate the model, the difference that can make, the difference that you can make to those around you. By lifting them up, you also lift yourself up because it feels good to give compliments. Thank you, Salim.
Okay, I hope I remember everything you said, but I took notes, so I'll go ahead. أولاً في النموذج المرحلة رقم 3. ماذا تعني المرحلة رقم 3؟ تعني ما هي الأشياء الجديدة التي أتعلمها خلال زيارتي إلى النوادي الذي أحضره. فمثلاً تعلمت بالقريب من أحد أقاربي أنه يجب على الواحد أو على الشخص أن يتحكم بمشاعره. هذا شيء جديد تعلمته. وتعلمت أيضاً أنه يجب كتابة المهام المكلفة لي خلال الاجتماع قبل ذكر الاسم. كذلك تعلمت أنه يجب ترك مساحة كافية ما بين الرأس وما بين شاشة الكاميرا. وعلى هذا النحو فنحن نتعلم في كل اجتماع أشياء جديدة. وأنا تحديداً أقوم بكتابة هذه الملاحظات لأتعلمها وأتذكرها قبل حضور الاجتماع المقبل. وحالياً بدأت بعد نهاية الاجتماع بمراجعة هذه النقاط مع زملائي الأعضاء في النادي لرسخ وفهم هذه الملاحظات. أما فيما يخص في رقم 2 من النموذج هو عملية تزكية الناس المتميزين أو أعضاء المتميزين الذين أبهروا الجميع بأشياء وبصفات مميزة قد لا تكون موجودة في تقييمهم. فمثلا أرى شخص قدم خطابته ولكن نظرات عينيه أو نبرة صوته كان فيها نوع من الشعور أو العاطفة المتميزة. شخص أبدع في مهامه الإدارية ضمن النادي، وأقوم بعملية التزكية من خلال كتابة إيميل لهذا الشخص بعد الاجتماع وأشكره بشيء متميز ومنفرد فيه لأشجعه ولأعطيه الدعم المعنوي المطلوب. فأنا تعلمت هذه الطريقة من مدير القطاع السابق مارك هوب، واكتشفت أن من خلال هذه الطريقة نحن نشجع ونبدي اهتمامنا لأدق التفاصيل ونحفز من خلالها الأعضاء ليرتقوا وليبدوا ما هو أفضل لديهم. Moving on to the next question. Toastmasters recently promoted coaching what do you think the difference is as a coach between coaching and mentorship program in Toastmasters? The translation is: كونك coach أو متدربة محترفة، توستماستر قدم الكوتشنج أو التوجيه أو الإرشاد. ماذا ترين الفرق ما بين الكوتشنج والمنتورشيب أو التوجيه؟ توجيه DT79 is it correct? Mentorship? I'm just cross-checking on one of the terminology. DT79 mentorship هو التوجيه. إرشاد والإرشاد. Over to you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. I'm going to share with you my definition of the distinction between mentoring and a coaching. And of course, we have a new path in Pathways called the Effective Coaching Path. But my definition, the distinction between mentoring and coaching, mentoring is that you have done the position before, you've served in that capacity, so you are coming from your own experience and able to share with others of that experience, your learning, your wisdom, and we do it for no fee, no charge. There's no money. Although in some countries, in the UK, for instance, outside of Toastmasters, mentoring is also a profession and a paid profession. But within Toastmasters, of course, mentoring, there's never any charge, and no money exchanges hands, only heart-to-heart service to others or servant leadership. Now, coaching, on the other hand, is you've learned specific skills to help people get the best, to help people close the gap from where they are now to where they want to go. But you don't necessarily have served in that capacity. For instance, Samir, as district director, in the years to come, he will be able to mentor all those that step into that role, because from his personal experience, he knows and understands, and he can help guide people. Now, if you have taken the Effective Coaching program, you may also be able to coach people that step into that role, because you know how to help people bridge the gap from where they are to where they want to go, by using various kind of skills and strategies, such as asking questions, helping people understand their why, and a host of other skills that you learn when you're a coach. So mentoring, in my opinion, is you have done the job before and you can help them understand. And coaching is really coming from an area of you've learned the skills, how to get the best out of people. Now, in the Pathways program, I know it's slightly different in that coaching comes from a particular aspect. So they're speaking about coaching speakers as opposed to coaching leaders. They're speaking about coaching you in a speech. And often the focus is on one particular area, that you may go to a voice coach to enhance your voice or to get more vocal variety. But your mentor would serve you across a broader range of attributes that you're looking to enhance, and focus on you as an individual rather than just a slice of the pie or a slice of what you're working towards. So there I gave you my personal feeling about the distinction between mentoring and coaching, but also within the Toastmaster program, within Pathways Learning Experience, how they are defining the distinctions between coaching and mentoring. Back to you.
Thank you. الفرق ما بين الإرشاد mentoring والكوتشنج التوجيه هو من رأيي الشخصي وكاختصاصي في هذا المجال على النحو التالي. فمنتورشيب أو الإرشاد يتطلب وجود خبرة سابقة في نفس المجال، وبالتالي الشخص يستخدم حكمته وحنكته في إيصال هذه الخبرة للآخرين. فكما تعلمون أن هذا الاحتراف أو هذه المهنة خارج التوست ماستر يدفع كمهنة، ولكن داخل التوست ماستر فنحن كلنا نتعاون لتوجيه وإرشاد الآخرين في اكتساب مهارات نحن نعلمها وبالتالي نتوقع منهم تعلمها. فمثلا على سبيل المثال رئيس القطاع DTM العريف المميز سامر، عندما في السنين القادمة عندما يحل أحد في هذه المكانة سيقوم هو بإعطاء الإرشاد والتوجيه لهم بناء على الخبرات التي هو اكتسبها من خلال خدمته في هذا المجال. أما فيما يخص الكوتشنج أو التوجيه فهي مهارة يجب اكتسابها، وليس من الضروري وجود خبرة سابقة في هذا المجال. والهدف منها هو تغطية احتياجات معينة يتطلبها أشخاص أو جزء من المجتمع. فمثلا توجد هناك مسار تعليمي متخصص في الكوتشنج أو التوجيه، وفي هذا المسار التعليمي التركيز يكون بالأخص على المتحدث شخصياً. فمثلاً كيف هذا المتحدث أن يحسن من نبرة صوته أو أن يكتسب مهارات إضافية في إلقاء الخطب. ولو قارنا دور الكوتشنج أو دور الموجه في هذا المسار التعليمي مقارنة بالمرشد أو المنتور، سنجد أن المنتور يركز على الشخص كشخصية كاملة متكاملة وليس على مهارات معينة. هذا هو رأيي الشخصي في هذا المجال. Going to the next question, ma'am.
Thank you.
How can we practice core values on our online meetings? Translation: كيف لنا أن نطبق القيم التي نعلمها في الاجتماعات عبر النت? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. How can we practice our core values online? I think even more in the world that we are today, our core values are essential. I like to think of our core values as our operating system. They're the umbrella or the cart that we drive in. We don't do anything outside of our core values of integrity, respect, service to each other, and a commitment to excellence. Well, even online, we can accent that and act with integrity all the time, which means if you sign up for a role in your meeting, that you deliver that, but also that you respect the time that you have taken. I like to think of for every minute of time that I am before an audience, that's how many minutes of life I'm taking. So if it's a 7-minute speech and I have 30 people in the room, that's 210 minutes of life. And so I need to respect that and give that amount of value to the audience that's there in the room. But it's particularly integrity is to prepare for the roles, to prepare for what you are delivering to the audience. Don't show up and just do a spotlight effort that you haven't prepared for. So do it to that high level of integrity for your fellow members, integrity that you've committed, that you do what you say you're going to do, what you're thinking, what you're saying, and what you're doing are all the same in my mind. That's what integrity is, and it's out of respect and honesty to those around you. Service to your members, fellow members, be willing to step up to roles, be willing to step up to lead, be willing to be creative in the table topics that you are delivering. Be willing to find ways to serve and level up your club. You know, the board of directors can guide the program and give you a beautiful program, but you also have the opportunity to look in your club and discover the needs that are there and put positions in, whether that's a hark master, a joke master, whether that's sharing the word of the day a week earlier so that we get a chance to use it all week and come up. Whatever it is, find a higher level of adding value to your fellow club members, and that's service. And it's also a commitment to excellence. Now I want to share, and I'm sorry, Seville, this is a little bit longer than probably for translation. But when we have conflict, we end up pulling out the core values and judging other individuals against those core values. I'd like to say that the core values are a standard you set for yourself. They're a line in the sand beyond which you're not prepared to go. And that's the way I like to look at the core values, is this is who I am. I will act with integrity. And when something comes up, I ask myself, how can I act more in integrity? How can I be more respectful? Instead of judging others against it, I hold myself up. And I'd like to encourage you all to do that too. Back to you.
Thank you, ma'am. الإجابة كانت القيم الأساسية للتوست ماستر هي مبدأ عملنا حتى على منصة الاجتماعات عبر النت. فمثلا عندما يكلف لنا دورا، ما مدى تجهيزنا لهذا الدور وتطبيقنا وأدائها على أكمل وجه. فمثلا احترام الوقت هي من أهم المعايير لتنفيذ هذه الأدوار على أكمل وجه، وهذا لا يطبق على فقط أن الأعضاء منظمي الاجتماع، ولكن حتى على المتحدث الذي يقدم خطب معدة أو خطب ارتجالية. فعلى سبيل المثال لدي 7 دقائق لأن أتحدث ولدي 20 من الأعضاء حاضرين، فهذه 120 دقيقة. كيف لي أن أقدم لهم محتوى ثري ومفيد؟ مدى تجهيزنا للجلوس أمام الكاميرات، مدى استعدادنا لتنظيم اجتماع مكتمل وراقي. فمثلا البحث عن كلمة الأسبوع قد يكون أسبوع أو بفترة طويلة قبل الاجتماع حتى يتسنى للجميع مشاركتها والتدريب عليها. القيم هي مبادئنا وهي أساس أعمالنا. فمثلا الأمانة جزء مهم يتوجب على كل عضو أن يخدم ناديه. فنحن في مجلس الإدارة نهتم بمشاركة نظام تعليمي متقدم وحديث، ولكن على كل عضو هو تجربة هذا النظام الجديد والعمل لرفع مستوى ناديه. في حين وجود اعتراض أو خلاف داخلي فنحن نقوم بالرجوع إلى قيمنا، ونشارك بعضنا البعض في استحداث حلول تساعد وتساهم في تصرفنا بحكمة دون المساس والتعجل في الحكم على الآخرين. We are running out of time. With your permission, there is a last question. It doesn't sound like a question. It sounds like a gossip, but I will ask you anyway. You have the right to either answer or say, "Oh, time is over." Okay. So the question is, what are the major problems taking place on TMI board level these days with the pandemic?
That's a great question. Thank you so much for that. I'd like to go back, if I could, for a moment about the core values about respect. I'd just like to pay my respect to the district leaders that are here from around the world, past International Director Patrick Wee, District Director Wafa Salman, and others. And I see Linda Lee, who's been coming to places that I speak. So I'd just like to respect and acknowledge those. I think Sunil Cotterell is here as well. I'm sorry if I've mispronounced your name. So I'd just like to show respect to those that came out today that are asking questions. I really value and appreciate that you are here today with us. So what are some of the challenges that we're going through at World Headquarters? Of course, right now, because the International Convention has been canceled for Paris, France, it's about reorganizing that convention for next year and making sure all the hotel arrangements, all the convention arrangement, but also, as you can imagine, the World Championship will be online, or there'll be some iteration of the World Championship, as well as some of the other aspects of the International Convention. So how can we provide continued service to our members around the world, and how are we pulling the convention together online is the main challenges that are going on in World Headquarters right now. But I do want to acknowledge what immediately happened at the beginning of the March when the United States began to shut down their borders and begin to ask people to self-isolate. Immediately, the board meeting was going on, the executive committee meetings had concluded, the board meetings had begun, and all of a sudden rooms were being shut down, board members were being recalled back to their country before the doors were closed. So staff were scrambling to make that happen. But at the same time, within about a 48-hour period of time, everyone that worked at World Headquarters that were frontline service to our members around the world had to be equipped with the technology to take them home and to be able to continue to serve our members. So that meant laptops, that meant access information in the cloud, that meant a host of things. And I can tell you the staff were remarkable. Not only were we able to conclude the board meetings at a very high level and complete everything we needed to do, but also there were staff scrambling to ensure that everyone ended up with equipment that they could continue to serve. It was just phenomenal to see, and where I saw other organizations around the world taking a week, 10 days, I just have to applaud Dan Rex and the rest of the staff, particularly the senior leaders and Sam Faragian, who manages the technology department, to make sure that staffers could have online access to the information they need, and that there was adequate security in place and that we protect our members. So thank you for that. And it's up to you, the time frame. I know if others have to go, I'm fine, but Samil, whatever works, I'm willing to answer questions as long as members have questions. Up to you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. السؤال كان ماذا يدور في المجلس الإدارة العليا في الإدارة توست ماستر في الأوقات الراهنة؟ والإجابة كانت، وقبل الإجابة وددت العريفة المميزة مارغريت إرسال احترامها وتهنئة خاصة لبعض القادة المتميزين الموجودين حالياً أمثال وفاء وسنيل وغيرهم. ثم استرسلت على موضوع الإجابة وذكرت: كما تعلمون أن الاجتماع السنوي قد ألغي، وترتب على ذلك أمور لوجستيكية كثيرة جداً. وكما تعلمون أن المسابقة الدولية ستقام عبر النت، ونحن نحاول نجتهد أن نحافظ على نكهة جو المسابقات الدولية، ولكن هذا يتطلب إلى المزيد من التنسيق والترتيبات والأمور اللوجستيكية لضمان أفضل الخدمات وأفضل تجربة عبر النت. فأود أن أفيدكم بأنه حينما أعلنت أمريكا بالحجر وأقفلت حدودها، كانت مجلس إدارة التوست ماستر يعملون على قدم وساق لتهيئة ما يتطلبها الأعضاء حول العالم، فأعطت للخدمات والأمور اللوجستيكية جميع ما يحتاجونها من الدخول على المعلومات عبر النظام كلاود، وتجهيزهم باللابتوبس وخدمات التواصل لأن لا يتعثر تقديم أي خدمة إلى أعضائها الكرام. وبذلك أود أن أقدم شكري إلى السادة تقنية المعلومات في الإدارة العليا، وأقدم شكر خاص للإدارة العليا حيث أنهم على مدار الأيام والأسبوع ضمنوا استدامة الخدمات المقدمة من التوست ماستر دون أي انقطاع. Translation is over. I think you have very clearly mentioned, DTM Margaret, that we have to respect time. I thank you very much for giving your valuable time to all of us. We are 7 minutes beyond time frame. With that, I conclude. Thank you very much once again from Salim Hakim and my colleague Fahim, and over to you, District 79 Director.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Salim, and thanks for Fazmi and for the team behind the talk for leading this wonderful and facilitating this wonderful question and answer session. And of course, thanks to distinguished Toastmaster Margaret Page for sharing her valuable message and answers with District 79 members and the guests, and also with her wonderful model 3-2-1. Our members really matters most, and they are our priority. That's why we need you to get the maximum benefit of each and single meeting you attend. That's why I will summarize the model. First, after each meeting, write down the 3 things you have learned. Then send a unique compliment, and I stress here on unique compliment to 2 fellow members. And then send 1 note or message of gratitude after each and every meeting. I also would like to echo what our distinguished Toastmaster Margaret said. Apply the core values by well preparation for each role you take, even if it is only an hour counter. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters from District 79 and from all over the world for coming today and attending District 79 Leadership Talk. See you next Monday at the same time with a new leader and a new experience.